All right, welcome into conference championship rankings. This is the second to last. This is the second to last stream. But these rankings are super important because they kind of lay the foundation for how CCGs kind of shake out. So, yeah. So, do you guys have any question, or is it just going to be the same 1, 2, 3?
I don't see a reason to change 1, 2, 3. They all looked pretty good to me this week.
All right, I'm just writing out my rankings real
Yeah,
quick.
with that.
And also, just for clarification on VODs, if it seems like I'm talking and leading conversations, because I kind of have to. If there's silences, I'm not trying to lead opinions. I'm just trying to make the rankings happen. So, all right. So, number 1, Baylor, they won, obvious.
Yeah.
Landslide win, Baylor. And then number
Gotta
2,
be Baylor.
MSU.
Yep.
Now, I would say that for Ohio State, while they're at 3, they're going to drop, because they can't have a top 4 seed as an at-large bid, and that's what they would be at. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, we're not taking into account any. The only thing we're taking into account is division winners right now.
Okay.
So next up, I mean, EC lost, so it has to be Florida, right? What was that win? They beat Florida State, yeah. So is there an argument do you guys have to have them jump Ohio State? I don't think so.
I see it.
I sort of do, but
at this point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really, because Florida's going to be higher than Ohio State anyways if they win the conference. So
correct, yeah, and there is an argument. You know, they have the win over number 7, another win over Florida State, and their only loss is to overtime, whereas Ohio State's was on game day to MSU. So there's an argument there, but that's going to sort itself out next week. So now we have a bunch of teams that lost. I'm looking at last week's rankings here. The next step would be ASU, Houston, Tennessee. Those are kind of the teams, or Northwestern. Personally, I was super impressed by Northwestern because they led that entire game really well.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with ASU, it was way too close against a 5-loss team. So I don't know. For me, I would give it to Northwestern, in my opinion, to be the top 1 loss. However, do you jump Houston at this point?
I don't think you do. I think Houston's got. I just think they don't have incredible wins, but they got a lot of 8-win, 9-win type of wins.
Yeah, I will say their best win is Washington, who actually snuck into the conference championship with Cal choking the Boise State. Probably
That's
the dumbest
wild.
upset I've ever seen. So really we just want to be because of the CCG, you have to put Houston over ECU at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
How the auto big works. All right, so we're at 5. Do you guys want to put Houston here? Do you want to go with the 2-loss? Because there's no more 1-loss. Let me just check. Obviously, it's Florida State, Miami, Middle Tennessee State, East Carolina.
I think one kind of getting overlooked a little bit is the fact that, I mean, you did mention Arizona State did not look good in that game against Arizona. I mean, Arizona lost that game more than Arizona State won it.
Yeah.
And I don't think Houston's getting enough credit for being as dominant as they are against the schedule they have.
I agree. I think they got a lot of 8 and 9-win teams. They're not just beating them, they're blowing them out. That's just impressive.
So is that enough to put them at 5? Because I think the general consensus is it Northwestern at 5, or is it Houston at 5?
I don't think you put Northwestern over Houston.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I would put Houston here. They've shown zero grimace this entire season.
Yeah.
You cannot blame a G5, no matter how good they are, for a road loss at Georgia, at home versus Georgia by 7. You know.
Yeah.
All right, so Houston at 5. And then Northwestern at 6.
I think you keep Arizona State at 6.
I was gonna say that. I just don't think you can punish them that much for winning.
Yeah, they still
True.
won. Yeah, but
Won.
I will say though, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter because for Northwestern to have any chance at the playoff, they have to win against MSU.
Yeah.
But while the loss is to Rice, all the teams we're talking about here though have losses to G5.
Yeah, but Rice is still a 9-win team.
Yeah, the loss in double OT to Ohio State, but then ASU, both their losses are G5, and then you have Tennessee who is the worst loss with Buffalo.
Yeah, I think you actually do. Well, no, I don't know. I can't justify knocking Arizona State down a spot for winning.
Right, yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, something can be said that we did maybe rank them a little high, but they do have the better win. Like, the best win was just Illinois, but now, I mean, Utah is probably a better win.
Yeah.
Arizona slept on win.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm fine with Arizona State and then Northwestern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's really nobody else. I mean, okay, so I'm not allowed to talk to it, but we're at 8. Tennessee versus ECU.
My take would be Tennessee 7, ECU 8.
Then what about Northwestern?
Yeah, is it Northwestern 7?
Yeah, so right now we have Baylor, MSU, Ohio State, Florida, Houston, Arizona State, Northwestern. So 7. So we're on 8 right now.
I would flip what he said, and I would keep ECU in front of Tennessee. There's a common opponent, Buffalo. ECU beat Buffalo. And
who are the losses to? Because obviously
Georgia's a good win, but
1 point loss to Florida, 3 point loss to Buffalo. Buffalo's not ranked. That's just what the game is.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that. Then because
they have the better win. ECU has the better win. Arizona State's a better win than Georgia. They have a common opponent. ECU wins in that category.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I mean, it's just.
Just a fun side thing to point out. I'm like 99% certain in this game, the American points for is ahead of head-to-head in tiebreakers, and I lost by 3 points.
Wait, so TC, are you in conference championship game or?
No, I'm out.
That's tough.
Yeah. So okay, so you guys have ECU 8, Tennessee 9, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at 10. This is when it starts getting a little chaotic because we had Cal lose their 3 loss. Illinois lost their 3 loss. Next up, we have the Miami, who can very well make the playoff. Colorado, who was 14, but they lost to Utah, so Utah needs to move up. So the next echelon, this is where it starts kind of going downhill a little bit. So I think Miami is probably clearing away, probably the favorite to be ranked here. We still have to think about MTSU, where you want to put them. I think
you can jump them high from 19.
Yeah, 5-point win at home.
I want to look at Utah too, though.
Okay, so
that's a big win for Utah.
Yeah, so 2 loss. We already ranked Northwestern. We're good here. Independence, no. MAC, that's later. This is later if we do anything with it. All right, so Utah. So lost to Cal, who's not as great of a loss as we originally thought. Still quality though. Really, the best win is USC, and then they get smoked by ASU, and then they beat Colorado.
Yeah. What else does Miami have again?
Let's check SEC here. Better. Okay, ACC, you have Miami, who took an L to Duke and in North Carolina State, but they rattled off, 8 straight wins. They did beat ASU already once, who they're playing. We saw that on game day.
Yeah, but that's a terrible schedule.
Yeah, and I would say Utah's got even like as bad as Utah's schedule is. It might be even better than this.
Yeah, like
I mean,
Utah's like
yeah.
2 tiers ahead of that, and Utah
They-
doesn't even have a good schedule.
Yeah, I mean, in the last half of your schedule, you've only played one team that's bowl eligible.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also not Miami's fault, too, that the ACC was just down this year.
Luckily for them, though, that they don't, like, ranking doesn't matter. They can get to the top 8. So, I'm fine going Utah 10.
I also want to look at, this could be a stretch, but I want to look at Georgia. They got some of the best wins in the country. I know they're 3 loss, but they got 2 top 10 wins.
Yes. I think one thing, though, that might hinder them a little bit is the loss now to Bama. It's looking rough. So you lose to Ole Miss, who's looking rough. Destroy. This win is really good. They did lose Tennessee, and then they did beat Florida. So they have they have wins over 2 of the top 5 teams, though.
Yeah.
Which is
those are really
impressive.
That's just really 2 pretty tough losses. I'm not saying Tennessee's a bad loss. They got smoked.
Now, I will say, though, that they haven't played anybody in the last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, that's 38 to 10 is not really that good of a win over Hawaii.
And they're out of any sort of CCG. For me, I probably just put Miami over them, kind of just solely for the playoff sake. I mean, it doesn't matter, but
yeah. So we said Utah first, though, right?
Yeah. So right now I have, so we were at 7, and then 8 ECU, 9 Tennessee, 10 Utah, 11 Miami, and then 12 is Georgia.
Would this be where you might kind of start thinking about Middle Tennessee?
I think you can start thinking about them here, yeah.
Well, because where we rank them, like, so right now, if we rank them at 13, that's fine. It's just there's no chance of them hopping Houston, which with the schedule, I don't think there is any reason if both teams win this week why they would jump them.
Yeah.
Right? No, absolutely not.
Houston's the clear favorite for the auto bid now. Yeah, so it's
that loss to Charlotte is just worse than any of Georgia's losses, in my opinion. And Georgia's wins just make me want to keep Georgia over Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah, and
I'm okay with that. Yeah, dude,
I mean, if they were 12-0 right now, they would be ahead of Houston. Because of that loss, it's 2 scores. But I'm fine putting them at 13. I think. That's
I also think people are kind of judging the Charlotte team a little too harshly. They are a bowl eligible team.
Yeah, another team to consider is Boston College here. They had 2 tough losses in a row, but they got back on track against Louisville. So, but 2 bad losses. I mean, the FSU's not that bad, but Clemson's, that's rough.
I mean, I think I'd leave Georgia in front of them and Middle Tennessee State even maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. Want to make sure we don't miss any people that we have to rank high.
Yeah.
Because it's going to start getting into some. We're definitely going to be ranking a lot of 4-loss teams. So we got to start thinking about Washington. They are a 3-loss team. But they do have 2 really high quality losses, only by 4 and 3, as much as you want to take that into account. They did lose to Cal, another quality loss. Dude, this team is so bad, man. Every good team they've played, they lose. And then they just won everything else. And they're somehow in a position to make the playoff. I don't see.
Crazy.
If they somehow beat ASU and rectify that loss, that would be good. But I don't see how this team makes it past the number 8 seed. This is kind of equivalent to Utah in Season 8, so I don't think you can rank them here. Cal.
No.
I mean, they have the win over Utah, but I don't think you rank them over Middle Tennessee State or Boston College.
I cannot believe they lost to Boise. That is crazy.
Texas A&M, we do have to rank higher. Whatever win against Arkansas. As long as they're ranked, because they can make the playoff. And then And then Georgia Southern, I probably falls out. Maybe you rank FIU. I don't know. But, okay, so 13, MTSU. And then...
Wait, we put Georgia 12, right?
Yeah, so Georgia's at 12. 13 is MTSU. And then 14 would be Boston College.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so now we're at 15. Teams now that we got to start considering, mainly teams who won their divisions: Colorado, Washington, Florida State, even though they lost.
I really feel like Texas A&M should kind of start be in this range of a conversation because they're a 3-loss team and they're still very much alive for the playoffs.
So I think Washington. I
can agree, but I think their losses might be some of the worst that are even
Yeah.
rankable. You have a loss
realistically, though, it's like they're playoff teams, and we're like talking about like 23rd in the country.
Well, sure. I mean, but that's the beauty of the auto bid, right? But
yeah.
I just 3 losses to non-bowl eligible teams is really bad.
It's rough, yeah.
I don't think you can put them over Washington.
Auto bid.
I don't think you could put this team over Washington, who had all of these losses.
Not over Washington.
And then probably, I mean,
does
A&M
have good wins?
Also, Illinois too is 3 losses in the Big Ten.
That's true.
Well, my question is, does A&M have any good wins? Because if
let's take a look.
They do it. Is when we looked at Washington, they lost to every good team they played.
Right.
Their only win is like Ole Miss.
A&M best win is Ole Miss. They did beat Bama, but they're 5-loss at this point. They only have 2 wins over teams that are below, or 3 wins against teams. They've only played 3 teams above eligibility.
That's awful.
This is a horrendous schedule.
I think you can you can rank them the lowest 3-loss team.
Yeah, Washington's ahead of this for me.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. I didn't realize it was that bad.
No, we got to look at them all. Okay, so here's Washington again. So obviously the good 3 losses. I mean, at some point it does help you, but they still have the wins against an Arizona and an Oregon. That's at least something.
Hey,
I do think you go that year.
Cal, I think you do have to put them over Washington just because of the head-to-head, despite them not being in the championship.
I do.
Because they also have the win over Utah. You know, it's like a proven, actually good win.
But they lost to 2-10 Boise.
Yeah.
Just can't overlook that.
Okay, so, and then let's check Illinois here. Because Illinois, I don't think you can necessarily drop a ton. Lost to Baylor. Win over FAU, Penn State. Michigan's a decent loss. This is a weird one with Minnesota. Was only a touchdown. Was a snow game on the road.
None of these teams have any wins, bruh.
It's like also that I feel like that Minnesota loss takes a little bit too much of a hit because Minnesota to me is a lot better than their record suggests.
Oh, absolutely. They have one of the hardest schedules in the country here. I mean, look, they have the best win in the country. Like I would be fine putting Minnesota over Illinois just because of the head-to-head because of this win. Like they've competed. If they played a little easier, they got out of conference screwed. They played the top 2 teams in their league, the top 3 teams in their league. Like you can't. The only loss you can really blame is ISU.
Played the top 3 teams in the country.
Yeah.
God, they got smoked by ISU.
Honestly, okay. So I think the best 3-loss team we've seen here is Colorado, despite their bad schedule, because they have at least wins over like Nebraska.
We're saying this with Washington already ranked, right?
No, Washington's not ranked yet. So we're at the point where we're just like have a muddied pile of 3-loss teams. I think the best 3-loss teams remaining would be either Colorado or Washington.
I would say
both can make the playoff, but
I would say throw the head-to-head out the window with Washington and Cal just because of that loss to Boise. I mean, they're 2-10. I mean, that's just inexcusable.
And Washington can make the playoffs still as well, so I think you give them the benefit of the doubt.
Agreed.
Tiebreaker. All right, so 15. Do you guys want to go Colorado or Washington?
I would go Washington.
Yeah, I'm on the Washington train.
Washington, then Colorado?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, I think it would be, I think we either go Cal here or we go Minnesota.
I think you go Minnesota.
Yeah,
no problem with Minnesota here.
Now, Minnesota was ranked 25 last week, and they didn't play a game, so jumping them this high.
I mean, but we did have a lot of teams like in that caliber lose. Like Iowa State lost.
Yeah, that's true. We had a lot of. Yeah, I don't think it mattered. And we had Ole Miss lose. We had JSOU lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of teams did.
Yeah, FSU lost. Okay, so Colorado and then Minnesota. And then do you go?
I think FSU here because their loss being Florida.
Yeah, but they also have 4 losses at this point.
Yeah, I don't think they have the wins to overcome a 3-loss team either.
I thought that put them at 3 losses.
No, they're and this VTech loss is pretty bad.
Yeah, so is the Mariners.
So 3 losses. I think we either go Cal or Illinois here. I think
Illinois.
Okay, yeah. So Illinois, Cal, and then I want to make sure we're not missing any
maybe
teams.
And maybe look at like
Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M.
So we do need to rank like Toledo because they are.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Toledo. Toledo, maybe FIU, or is it New Mexico 10-2 as well?
Yeah. Now I would say just give the benefit of the doubt to A&M because now they are in a position where they just need to win a game and they're in the top 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so that puts us at 20. So let me just run back through this because this is kind of a weird echelon. So we got Utah at 10, Miami at 11, 12 Georgia, 13 MTSU, Boston College 14, Washington 15, Colorado 16, 17 Minnesota, 18 Illinois, 19 Cal, 20 A&M. All right, let's see if there's any 3-loss teams. We got Colorado, we got Illinois. I don't think you rank Memphis or Rice. We do need to rank Toledo for sure.
Toledo for sure, yeah.
Maybe New Mexico. We have all these teams. I don't think you rank USC.
No.
SEC, there might be an argument to rank Ole Miss, maybe, but it was a bad loss this weekend. They don't have a quarterback. I don't think FIU's not in their championship, so I don't think there's any reason to rank them.
Yeah.
Then you have to rank Florida State.
Yep.
American, I don't really think you rank Army.
No.
Maybe a Nebraska, but they lost, and we didn't have a rank last week. Okay, so now we're at the point where it's kind of like you kind of ranked everybody, right? So
I think I would like Florida State here. That's the only team that I see clearly being above the rest.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you're right. Florida State,
and then maybe Toledo.
Yeah, probably a Toledo, and they were 23 last week, so a big win. It was kind of close.
I think. Can we look at Memphis' schedule real fast?
Yeah. Dude, it would be so funny if they got left out because Memphis took them out. Lost to USC, not really all that bad. 3-9.
Jeez.
Yeah. Ranked win, not a ranked win, but.
Oh, they beat Texas.
Yeah, Texas, but once again, that's.
Vandy just beat Texas.
Or no, that's North Texas.
Yeah, it's North Texas, not even Texas.
That's
going to be such a funny game if Skyflyer loses that.
Oh my god.
Middle Tennessee State is our auto bet. That'd be wild.
That'd be awesome.
Your Memphis Tigers
are
back CCGs.
Dude, a flipper master, like that's like the goal.
Now, what would happen?
SFA player storyline. Huh?
Let's say Houston and Middle Tennessee State lose.
There's no G.
There's no auto bid.
There's no auto bid. You'd have to rank one of us in the top 8.
Okay.
So in that event, then it opens the door again for ECU, but then it completely just depends on how the ACC shakes out and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So I have Florida State and Toledo. We have 3 spots left. I think the only team that's like I really want to rank is maybe New Mexico.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think New Mexico deserves it. 10-2.
Well, can we see what their wins are? I'd like to see.
I don't know if they got really any wins, but
I mean the conference is bad.
10-2.
But 10-2
Well,
is
I feel like
UNC,
Coastal, and SDSU. One was in OT.
I mean, yeah, there's not really any wins there. If
wins
you're looking
aren't
at it,
good.
But...
It's not like
God,
blowing the shit out of people. I mean, they did beat UNC though.
1 win, 2 win, 5 win, 6 1 3. Oh my god!
I mean, there's no wins, but I mean, it's 10-2.
Yeah, and they're in this conference championship.
Yeah, and there's who else are we gonna rank here at the end of the day?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I don't see ranking. Like I think at this point, honestly, looking at Ole Miss, yeah, they did lose, but they are still a decent team. They did beat Georgia. They've had a rough stretch here in the last 5 weeks, but they domed Texas. And it's
I'm cool with Ole Miss here because of the Georgia win. I think that's a huge win, especially because of the win that Georgia has.
That win.
Yeah, do you still rank Georgia Southern despite the loss?
I don't think so.
I don't feel like you do, but at the same time, it's like, who else would we put there?
I definitely think you put New Mexico over them.
Okay, so right now, 23, I have Ole Miss. Then 24, I'd have New Mexico. And then, all right, let's just scroll through, see if there's anyone that catches an eye. Mainly 4 losses.
There was a team that only lost by 1 to the number 6 team in the country.
Army, probably not. Big 12, Iowa State or Nebraska.
I think Iowa State's got a better resume here.
Yeah, if we consider something to be Iowa State. I mean, the Colorado win's pretty good. Minnesota win. So 2 ranked wins. It got smoked by Baylor, but, you know, whatever. So, okay, I think Iowa State is a big contender here. Michigan or Penn State, no chance. Memphis, maybe, but they have some bad losses. Oh, BYU honestly might be a good option here. They have one of the best offenses in the country. I know we don't look at the independents really, but a win over Buffalo is a win over Buffalo. ODU, they lost some good games. Western Michigan, never mind. The schedule's pretty bad. Maybe not. Maybe ranking Buffalo though. By 3.
But I mean, if you're gonna rank, you can't. I don't think you can rank Buffalo and not rank BYU with the head-to-head.
Yeah,
unless we're gonna look past it.
I think you can. Buffalo having a win over the current number, the team that was number 2 in the country, and he only lost to TCU.
The Tennessee win. I don't know. That's kind of like I think Buffalo probably gets ranked if they make up their win or their loss against Toledo earlier in the season. Mountain West, do you rank SDSU? I don't think so.
No, not after the Nevada game.
And then here, I mean, let's just check USC.
Major
Do you
rank I actually really like Buffalo here.
You can't go Alabama after they lose. Sun Belt. FIU, let's just take a look here. I mean, I don't see any good wins.
1-11.
1-11. No chance. Okay.
Not a chance.
All right, so here, let's take a look at
Syracuse. Syracuse. Yeah.
BYU win. Miami loss. A weird loss to Pitt. FSU loss on the road. And a BC loss. But then again, nothing that stands out is a good win other than BYU.
I wouldn't say that they're ranked.
Yeah, their best win was 8 wins.
Absolutely not. Nothing there.
So for me, my vote is Iowa State or BYU, personally.
My vote's honestly Baylor. Or, I'm sorry, Buffalo.
Baylor should definitely be ranked, I think.
Ron, if you couldn't choose Iowa State, who would you choose?
It's tough, but I think I'd go. Oof.
The one thing that's hesitating me for Iowa State, because they clearly have the best resume remaining, but the QB loss is rough.
And Arches have an insane season.
This could be
I would
a
have
case
no
where we
problem
might.
going Buffalo here. I think
we
that's
could
the next
reward a
best.
user here. And it's not like these are close wins. I know this one was, actually no, this one I don't think was. The one on BearCave a few weeks ago. So yeah, he just destroyed Kent. Might as well, right?
Might as well throw him in there.
He started out 0-3 against 3 really good teams, to be fair. Like, this is a combined 30-5.
He's got to win over a top 10 team, which is better than anyone left.
He even took Michigan State to halftime, too. That wasn't a full game.
Yeah, he had the lead at halftime. It was, I believe, 17-14.
Yeah.
I think you just got to go with them.
All right.
8-win Bowling Green, you got to win there.
Yeah. Okay, so final run through. We got Baylor, Michigan State at 2, Ohio State 3, Florida 4, Houston 5, Arizona State 6, Northwestern 7, ECU 8, Tennessee 9, 10 Utah, 11 Miami, 12 Georgia, 13 MTSU, 14 Boston College, 15 Washington, 16 Colorado, 17 Minnesota, 18 Illinois, 19 Cal, 20 A&M, 21 Florida State, 22 Toledo, 23 Ole Miss, 24 New Mexico, and 25 Buffalo.
Love it.
All right, cool.
Good work.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna post these, and then I will. Goddamn, gotta do recruiting. All right, I'll catch you guys. I'll catch you later.
See ya.